So this is the third chapter of NCERT class 8 geography, which is agriculture. We not go to read line by line, but important point which is important research. So in this we know about the agriculture. Actually, the word agriculture origin from the Latin word. Latin word agar or agri meaning soil, or the culture means the cultivation. The soil, the cultivation on the soil is known as agriculture. It is also an art. And then we know about the agriculture is a primary activities, because transformation from a plant to finished product involves three economic activities: primary, secondary, and tertiary. We know about them, but actually primary activities include those which are the natural resources, agriculture, fishing and gathering, and good example. And we read in this about the agriculture. So agriculture is the example of the primary activity. We only depended on the agriculture. Second is the secondary activities. Secondary activities involves manufacturing and add value to raw materials. And many example like braid, weaving of cloth are example of these activities. And the tertiary activity which provides support to primary secondary sectors through the services, example transport, trade, baking, and that example of the tertiary activities. These are the terms. And then we know about the agriculture, which is the primary activity. We know it includes growing crops, fruit, vegetables, flowers, and rearing of livestock. In this world, 50% of the person are engaged in the agriculture activity. 50%, half of the population, roots of the India population is still dependent on the agriculture because of the land, favorable topography of soil, climate habitat for the agriculture activity. The land which the crops are grown is arable land. Where the crop is grown is called arable land, which should be fertile for the growing crops. In the map, you can see the agriculture activities is concentrated in those regions of the world where the suitable factors for the growing of a crop exist. So in this map, we know about the world distribution and arable land. We know about the arable land where the crops grows, which are the arable land blue market. I highlight with yellow color. This is the India, and this is the Europe, western part, North America, eastern part, and the Argentina, and some parts of the Africa, or also Australia, and some parts of the Asia where the China exists. These are the arable land where the present. Do you know that is the agriculture? We know about it, that is the science and art of the cultivation of the soil, raising crops and rearing livestock. It is called farming and agri. And then culture means cultivation. Seri, commercial rearing of the sequoia. PC, constructed tanks and ponds in the breeding of the fish. VT, cultivation of the crops. Horticulture, growing vegetation, flowers, and the fruit for the commercial use. Then we know about the farm system. What is the farm system? What were the input, output? What is the material required for the agriculture? Agriculture for farming can be looked at as a system. The imported inputs are feed, seeds, fertilizer, machinery, and labor. Some of the operation involved to are the ploughing, sowing, irrigation, weeding, and harvesting. The output from the system include crops, wool, dairy, and the poultry products. So in the farm system, we know about the what are the input and what are the output. Inputs like machinery, seeds, chemicals, and the process which involve ploughing, sowing, spraying, weeding, harvesting, and output is the crop. This is the process of the agriculture. And the physical output, there is a physical output in which sun rays, sunshine, temperature, rainfall comes, and the human output, storage, home labor, machinery, and chemicals come. And then we know what the types of the farming. What are the types of the farming? Farming is practiced in a various way across the world. We know there is a distribution of arable land on the world where the farming is a practice, but it is a different type depending upon the geographical condition. What is geographical condition? Demand of the produce, labor, and the level of the technology. Farming can be classified into two types: subsistence and the farming, and the commercial farming. So we can say that commercial farming and the subsistence farming divided into two parts on the basis of the demand of produce, labor, and the level of the technology. Subsistence farming. Subsistence, you know about the subsistence. Subsistence means it is used to subsistence for our survival. This type of farming is a practice to meet the needs of the farmer's family. Traditionally, low level of technology and the household labor are used to produce on a small output. Subsistence farming can be further classified intensive and the primitive subsistence farming. So subsistence farming for our needs, for our fulfillment of the livelihood. Further, it's classified into intensive subsistence agriculture and the primitive subsistence agriculture. So intensive agriculture, in which the farmer cultivates a small plot of the land using simple tools and more labor. Climate, with a large number of days with sunshine, fertile soils permit growing more than one crop annually on the same plot. We can see the dependency on the nature environment for their irrigation and the sunshine. Rice is the main crop. Other crops include wheat, maize, pulses, and the wild. Intensive subsistence agriculture is prevalent in the thickly populated areas of the monsoon region of the south, southeast, and East Asia. This is the intensive subsistence agriculture. And the interesting fact that organic farming, in this type of farming, organic manure and the natural pesticide are used instead of the chemicals. No genetic modification done to increase the yield of the crop. This is organic farm, and we should encourage farmers to use organic farm work, because this is beneficial for us and the healthier world. Another type is a primitive subsistence agriculture of the subsistence agriculture. The word primitive includes the primitive. This is the pre includes shifting cultivation and the nomadic herding. They know the term what is shifting cultivation and the nomadic herding. Shifting cultivation is a practice in the thickly forested area of the Amazon basin, tropical Africa, parts of the Southeast Asia and the Northeast India. They are the areas of a heavy rainfall and a quick regeneration of the vegetation. A plot of land is cleared by felling the trees and burning them. The ashes are then mixed with the soil and the crops like maize, yam, potatoes and cassava. After the soil process is facility, the land is abandoned and the cultivator moves a new plot. Shifting cultivation is also known as a slash and the burn agriculture, because here the slash and the cut and the slash which means cut and the burn agriculture, and the ICSR which is used to generate fertility. And next type is the next term is a primitive sustenance agriculture, nomadic herding. Nomadic herding is a practice in the semi-arid and arid region of the Sahara, Central Asia and some parts of India like Rajasthan and Jammu and Kashmir. You know about the arid region. The word arid is which derives from the arid which derived from the Arabic word which means aridus, which means better dry. Arid region is the bare harsh climate. There is no vegetation. So in this area, in this type of farming, herdsmen move from place to place with the animals for the fodder and the water, because they not found in their region along with defined routes. This type of movement arises in response to climatic constraints and the terrain. Sheep, camel, yak and the goats are the most commonly reared. They provide milk, meat, wool, hides and the other products to herders and their families. They depend on their herders. They are nomadic herders with their camels. They depend on their animals for the food survival. This is the nomadic herding, which is also part of the primitive subsistence agriculture, because they move from one place to another for their survival. Do you know shifting cultivation is known by different names in different parts of the world? Zooming, Northeast India; Milpa, Mexico; Central India; Central America; Roca, which is in Brazil; and Ladakh, which is in Malaysia. And then next one is commercial farming. We know about the subsistence farming, which is for our survival, and the commercial farming, which is for with commercial purpose, for the economic purpose. Commercial crops are grown and the animals are reared for the sale in the market. The area cultivated, amount of capital used in the large. Most of the work is done by the machines. Commercial farming includes commercial grain farming, mixed farming and the plantation agriculture. In the commercial grain farming, crops are grown for the commercial purpose. Wheat and the maize are the areas where the commercial grain farming is the practice at temperature grassland of the North America, Europe and the Asia. These areas are sparsely populated with large farms spreading over hundreds of hectares. Several winters restrict the growing season and only a single crop can be grown. So we can say that the commercial farming is done for the purpose of the commerciality, including with a big plot. They not have a small plot, and they also have the high level of the technology which requires more labor. So in the place of the labor, the technology works. In the mixed farming, the land is used for the growing food and for the crops and the rearing livestock. So commercial farming is also divided into the many parts, like plantation, which is also type of the commercial farming. It is practiced in Europe, Eastern USA, Argentina, Southeast Australia, New Zealand and South Africa. So plantation are a type of the commercial farming where the single crops of tea, coffee, sugarcane, cashew, rubber, banana or cotton are growing. Large amount of labor and capital are required. The produce may be produced on farm itself or nearby factories. The development of transport network is such farming essential. Major plantation are found in the tropical region of the world. Rubber in Malaysia, coffee in Brazil, tea in India and Sri Lanka are some examples where the plantation are done. This is the type of the commercial farming. Next topic is the major crops. If a large variety of the crops have grown to meet the requirement of the growing population. Crop also supply raw materials for the agro waste industry. Major crops are the wheat, rice, maize and the millet, jute and cotton are fiber crops. Important beverage crops are tea and the coffee. Know about the major crops which is important for our growing population. First one is rice, then wheat and then millets. Rice, this is the main major food crop of the world, not only India but the world. It is a stable diet for the tropical and the subtropical region. Rice needs high temperature, high humidity and the rainfall. It grows best in the alluvial clay soil which can retain water. China leads in the production of the rice, followed by India, Japan, Sri Lanka and Egypt. In the favorable climatic condition as in West Bengal and Bangladesh, 2 to 3 crops are grown in a year. So Rice is a major uh, crop of the world, and according to the geographical location, it is cultivated in tropical and subtropical regions, and that's why it is dominant. And second one is the beet. Beet requires moderate temperatures and the rainfall during the growing season and the bright sunshine at the time of the harvest. It thrives best in the drained loamy soil, which is grown extensively in USA, Canada, Argentina, Russia, Ukraine, Australia, and India. Because its land size in USA and the Canada, Argentina are the more not as same as the India. And in India, it is grown in the winter, and in India, it's also known as the rabi crops. And the next one is millets. Millets, they are also known as the coarse grain. Coarse grain, you know about the coarse, which is the more like a maize. Coarse, which is like a make, which is not a fine, which is like a coarse, like a sand, and it can be grown on a less fertile and the sandy soil. It is a hardy crop that needs low rainfall. Its crops need low rainfall, moderate temperature, adequate rainfall. Jowar, baja, and ragi are grown in India. Other countries are Nigeria, China, and the Niger, where the millets are grown. And the next crop is the maize. This is known as also corn. Maize is also known as called various colorful varieties of maize are found across the world. I see the white on the orange and the black. But a major variety of it found in a different region. Maize requires moderate temperature like millets and lots of the sunshine. It needs built in fertile soil. Maize is also grown in North America, Brazil, China, Russia, Canada, India, and Mexico. Next one is cotton. Cotton requires high temperature, light rainfall, 210 frost free days means the temperature is high, and a bright sunshine for its growth. Its growth based on the black and the alluvial soil. China, USA, India, Pakistan, Brazil, and Egypt are the leading producer of the cotton. It is one of the main raw materials for cotton textile industry, which is used to make a finished product from the cotton. And next one is a jute. Jute was also known as the golden fiber. Why is it golden fiber? Because this color is a golden, and its play like grows builds on the alluvial soil and requires high temperature, heavy rainfall, humid climate. This crop is grown in the tropical areas. India and Bangladesh are the leading producer of the jute because of the climate condition found here. Next one is the coffee. The coffee requires warm and the wet climate and the well-drained loamy soil. Hill slopes are made suitable for the growth of this crop. Brazil is the leading producer, followed by the Colombia and the India. So in India also coffee is grown. Next one is a tea. Tea is a beverage crop on the plantation. This requires cool climate and well disturbed with high rainfall throughout the year for the growth of the tender leaves. Because in tea we use leaves. So interesting fact that there are different versions about the discovery of the coffee. In about 50, Kaldi, an Arab goat herder who was puzzled by the cured antis of the flock, tested by the berries of the evergreen bush on the which the gods were feeding. On experiencing a sense of the exhilaration, he proclaimed his discovery to the world. Tea, which needs built on loamy soil and the gentle slopes, labor in the large number required to pick the leaves. Kenya, India, China, Sri Lanka produces the best quality of the tea in the world. You see in the figure that this is the tea plantation and the women are the picking their leaves. And the next topic is the agriculture development. We know about the agriculture, which is the art of cultivating the crops on the soil, and the development, which refers to the quality change. Agriculture development refers to efforts made to increase from farm production in order to meet the growing demand of the increasing population. This can be achieved in the many ways, such as increasing the cropped area, the number of the crops grown, improving the irrigation facility, use of the fertilization, and the use of HYB seed. Mechanization of agriculture is also another aspect of the agriculture development. The ultimate aim of the agriculture development is to increase the food security, because we use technology which is not harmful for us, which is good for us. That is, we need our ultimate need is the food security. Agriculture has developed at different places in different parts of the world. Developing countries with large population usually practice intensive agriculture, whereas the crops are grown small holding mostly for the subsistence agriculture. Larger holdings are more suitable for the commercial agriculture, as in USA, Canada, and Australia, which with the help of two cases study from the farm, one from the India and the other from the USA. Let us understand about the agriculture in developing and developed countries. So in this we know the agriculture development. The agriculture developments haven't been the views HYB seeds and the mechanization with achieving our goal of food security. Do you know that food security exists when all people at all times have access to sufficient, safe, and nutritious food to meet their dietary needs and food preferences from the active and the healthy life? This is the food security. And then when you read about the agriculture in developed and the developing country, the first is a farm in the India, which is the developing country. There is a small village Adilabad in the Gazipur district of the Uttar Pradesh. You see the map of India, Uttar Pradesh. In the district this is the Gazipur and the village this is Adilabad. Munna Lal is a small farmer in the village who has a farmland about 1.5 hectares. His house is in the main village. He purchases high HYP seed of the from the market every alternate year, one gap and then 1 year. The land is fertile and he grows at least 2 crops in a year, which are normally wheat or rice and the pulses. The farmer takes advice of his friends and elder as well as a government agriculture officer regarding farming practice. He takes a tractor on the rent for plugging his feed. To some of his friends still use traditional method of using bullocks on the plugging. They are easier to build. It is nearly by feet which he taken as a rent on the irrigate his the land. Munna also has two buffaloes and a few hens. He sells milk in the cooperative society located in the nearby town. He is a member of the cooperative society, which also advises him on the type of the fodder for his animals, safety measure to protect the health of the livestock, and the artificial inseminations. All the members of the family help him in various farm activities. Sometimes he takes credit from a bank of the agriculture cooperative society to view HYB seed and the implements. He sells his produce in the mandi located in the nearby town. Since majority of the farmers do not have the lack of storage facility, they are the first to sell the produce even when the market is not favorable to them. In recent years, the government has taken some steps to develop storage facilities. So we can see that farmers in India is a substance for their survival. And then we know about the farmer in the USA. How is the farming done in the USA? The average size of the farm in the USA is much larger than that of the Indian farm. That is the much larger. A typical farm size in the USA is about 2 5 hectares. You can see the farmer generally resides in the farm. Some of the major crops are the corn, soybean, wheat, cotton, and the sugar beet. Joe Horan is a farmer. Jordan, a farmer in the Midwest USA in the Iowa state, owns about 300 hectares of the land. He grows corn on his field after making sure the soil and water resources meet the needs of adequate measures are taken to control pests that can damage the crop farm from time to time. He sends the soil samples to a soil testing laboratory to check whether the nutrients are sufficient or not. The result helped Joe Roden to plan a scientific fertilizer program. His computer is a link to the satellite which gives him the precise picture of his field. This helps him use chemical fertilizer and pesticides whenever they are required. He uses tractors, seeds, and reduced labor, combined harvest, and the thresher to perform various agricultural operations. Grains are stored in the automated grain storage or dispatched to market agency. The farmer in the USA was like a businessman and not a peasant farmer. So this is the difference between the farming of the India and the USA. Where the USA for the commercial purpose, India is for the subsistence purpose.